Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vitvishavahay. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 6 to 10 of chapter 3. Karmendriyani sanyamya,
Karmendriyani sanyamya,
ya aste manasa smaran,
ya aste manasa smaran,
indriyartan vimudhatma,
indriyartan vimudhatma,
mithyachara sa uchyate,
mithyachara sa uchyate,
yastvindriyani manasa,
yastvindriyani manasa,
niyamyarabhaterjuna,
niyamyarabhaterjuna,
karmendriyai karmayogam,
Karmendriyai karmayogam,
asakta savishishyate,
asakta savishishyate,
niyatam kuru karmatvam,
niyatam kuru karmatvam,
karmajyayo hyakarmanaha,
karmajayo hyakarmanaha,
sharirayatra pichate,
sharirayatra pichate,
na prasidhyeda karmanaha,
na prasidhyeda karmanaha,
yajñarthat karmanonyatra,
यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र
lokoyam karma bandhanaha,
लोकोऽयं कर्मबन्धनः
tadartham karma kaunteya,
तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय
mukta sangha samachara,
मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर
Saha yajna praja srishtva
सह यज्ञा प्रजा सृष्ट्वा
purovacha prajapatihi
पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः
anena prasavishyadvam
अनेन प्रसविष्यद्वम्
yeshavostvishta kamadhuk.
येषवोऽस्विष्टकामधुक्
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So in the last few sessions, we have been seeing how to use the karma indriyas most effectively. Whenever you have an object with you, you should learn to use it effectively. The foolishness of the mind is that it keeps on acquiring things. It wants to acquire a lot of things, but it does not have a comprehensive understanding about how to use those things effectively. A person acquires a lot of wealth. Now, does he or she really use that wealth to its fullest potential? There are so many usages of wealth. You have to think about this. See, I'm only taking wealth as an example, but every aspect of life, are you utilizing everything which is being given to you to its maximum capacity? When I say to its maximum capacity, obviously one thing is to be assumed there. That is to the maximum capacity for your benefit and for the benefit of others. That goes without saying. We are not talking about negative usages of an object. So you need to take stock of your life as a sadhak. Instead of looking at what all you don't have, you should start looking at what you have right now. And am I happy with these things? Am I satisfied that I have been able to use these things in the most effective manner? When you reach that level where you're able to use all the things which you've been given today in the most effective manner, now nature will give you more opportunities. It will help you to grow. It will help you to expand. You will be able to move up to the next level and acquire more things. At least that capacity will be there. Whether you actually go about acquiring or not, it all depends upon the utility. So the first step towards progress is effective usage of whatever we have. This principle is applied in spirituality. If you were to think of the infinite, the supreme state of God realization, how a Sthita Prajna functions, what is that which he or she experiences. When you see all those aspects, now you will actually lose confidence. There is a chance of losing one's self-confidence. There's so much of ground to cover. When am I going to reach? How am I going to do all this? So what these great yogis say is that don't worry, whatever equipments you have today, start using them fully. Start using them effectively. See, effectiveness is the key. If you have, let us say, 20% intellect, first start using that 20% intellect. If you have 20% devotion, first start using that 20% devotion. See, supposing you're walking on a dark road, there's absolutely no light there, you can't see anything, then what do? You carry a torchlight with you. Now you switch on the torch. Now it lights a certain portion, a small portion of the road in front of you. So what do? Once you get that much clarity, you start walking. Now as you walk, the same torch will be able to throw light on the next portion of the road. That is how you progress. Effective usage of whatever you have with you. Supposing you stand at your place itself and you say, I will not now start moving because this torch is only able to throw light up to a certain extent, just a few feet. I don't know what is remaining. So unless I am shown the full light, unless I am able to see the end, I will not move now. Supposing you say that, then you can never progress. Any progress is possible only if you use your existing tools fully, even though they may be limited. So the torchlight, even though it can only throw light just for a few feet, but it has the capacity to take you right up to the end. That is what I want you to understand. Even though you may say, this is just a small torchlight, it can only light this much, but it has the capacity, provided you use it properly, effectively. You use it to progress further. For a person who is pessimistic, who just wants to keep complaining. See, there are some people who keep on complaining about anything and everything in life. You put them in any position, they only know to complain. Such people, if you give them a torch, they'll say, what is the use of this torch? Where is my destination? And up to where can this torch guide me, show me the light? So I will not move anywhere, there's no point. So similarly, if you have a pessimistic approach to life in general, when it comes to the spiritual growth also you will say the same thing only. Because week after week when we are learning so many principles, You will say, where is all this? Where am I? My physical body itself is not strong. My mind has so many negative emotions. My thinking is muddled. It doesn't have, I'm not able to think clearly. I don't have 100% clarity. So how am I going to understand this? How am I going to practice this? What am I going to do? So you will keep on talking like this. See, it's very interesting. If you come across pessimistic people, you have to be very careful, especially as sadhaks, when you're trying to progress. People with pessimistic views, when they start talking, one thing is there, they are very deeply convinced about their pessimism. So they'll tell you what all the things are wrong with this, how whatever you're doing is not worth it. they will put those thoughts. So as sadhaks, you should be alert and not get influenced by these things. So it is not necessary that you need to have the perfect tools for you to start progressing. Whatever it is that you have, start now putting some efforts. So that is the very principle of this portion where he says, you have been given 5 karma indriyas. You have been given this physical body in general. Now, instead of complaining about the physical body, oh, the physical body is finite, what is the use of that? If you keep on saying, instead what he's saying is, start thinking on these lines. Start exploring the various possibilities. How best can I use my physical body towards to achieve my spiritual evolution? In this context here, we're talking about the karma indriyas. How best can I use my equipments right now? So that is why these 4 guidelines have been given. The abhivyakti, sadh, yogadanam and adhyatma unnati. So at every step again you can start complaining. Abhivyakti means expressing without any ego. Where can I do that? Because so much of ego is there. If you keep talking like this, you will never be able to master this. So you understand, nobody is at zero level, no one is at 100% level. If you are at 100% level, now you don't need to listen to this. So you will be somewhere in between. So whatever level you are in, start applying this principle at that level, no? The moment we talk of sadh, achievement, sir, I don't have the capacity to achieve goals. Yoga dana, what do I have to give? See, the mind is so pessimistic. Adhyatma unnati, such a subtle purpose. Where am I and how am I going to do all that? The mind will start getting into these kinds of thoughts and emotions. So you have to be careful about that. Why I'm mentioning this is, every now and then I get these kinds of mails where some people say, this is so subtle and so high, I am nothing, and I hope that in this lifetime, at least little bit I'll be able to learn. Mostly I'll not be able to. So please grace me, oh Yogishri, please. One lady had actually sent a mail like this, please give me your blessings so that at least in my next birth, I will be able to master a little bit of this. See, this is what is a pessimistic attitude. So last week I was telling you about 3 types of karmas also, no? The tamasic karma, rajasic karma and sattvic karma. The pessimistic attitude stems from tamas only. Later on, in the 18th chapter, when he is classifying action, actor, so many things into sattva, rajas and tamas, he'll be saying a sattvic actor, sattvic person is one who has a lot of enthusiasm. He is able to maintain the enthusiasm whenever he undertakes any activity. So the spiritual sadhana has to be done with a lot of vigor and enthusiasm. When you're loaded with the tamasic karmas, then that will manifest or into all negative thoughts. See, it will force you to think negatively, it will force you to feel negatively. Somehow or other, now it wants to stop your efforts. See, if you want to really develop in spirituality, at least, understanding wise, learn to separate yourself from your karmas and look at the karmas objectively. I'm going to give you that training in the next empowerment, the finding rhythm in life. Because only when you are objective, you'll be able to deal with it. So the karmas actually force your mind. When I say force you, the karmas force your mind to think in a particular way and feel in a particular way. So pessimism is a major obstacle in doing karma yoga. So it does not matter where you are, does not matter what are your defects. Nobody is perfect. Right now, with whatever resources you have, however limited they may be, doesn't matter. Whatever resources you have, how to now use those resources in the best possible way, how to use those resources most effectively so that I can progress. So as a sadhak, start practicing this principle. See, when it was told that every day you should do the Yoga Sankirtan meditation sadhana. Now, initially, people were asking me, can we play it loudly and listen to it as a group and all that? I said, no, your personal sadhana should be done alone only. And that too, you need to have a personal copy of your sadhana material because you're connecting with it. There is an energy connection that will happen. So if you share that with others, don't do yoga dhanam. See, the mind is so deadly that it completely misunderstands the whole thing and applies where it is not required. I am not at all doing my sadhana, Yogishri. Why? Whatever sadhana materials I had everything. I did yoga dhanam. Now what are you doing? I am just sitting and doing nothing. The sadhana materials actually are meant to create that energy within you with which you will be able to do seva. So many people are asking me this. So one person, he asked me as to what to do. He was facing an issue, that is, he didn't have a separate room in his house to go and sit and do the sadhana. I don't have a quiet place. That's what he was saying. I have 3 kids and they are all the time, making a lot of noise, and there's very less space. So what should I do? So what was suggested to him was, if you don't have a quiet room, then choose a quiet time. If you can find some corner of your house where you can sit and do, that is very good. Supposing you are unable to even find that, it's not possible, but just for argument's sake, then choose a quiet time. Get up early in the morning when all others are sleeping, and aram se put on your headphones and listen. Do the sadhana. Who's going to prevent you? Now he was saying, that is what is very difficult, Yogishri. I said, what is the difficulty? Because in order to know that others are sleeping, first I need to be awake. No, I need to wake up. So the whole problem is waking up early in the morning. I said, that is where the tamas is functioning. Apply yourself. If you want to keep giving reasons as to why you can't do the sadhana, you can give so many reasons. But once you have decided that you have to do this, now there is only one reason why you want to do this, and that is good for me. Simple. And once you have decided, somehow you will find the way. So this is called effective usage of whatever is available. So you have 24 hours with you in a day. How effectively are you using your time? Most of the time goes away in unproductive things. Things which neither help you, things which will neither help others. That too, things which will negatively influence your mind. You waste your time in watching all that. Just find out. So you have so many resources with you. See, when we talk of karma indriyas and engaging it in karma yoga, that we are seeing it in depth, because that is what the context of this chapter is. But you can take this principle and apply it with respect to the other areas of your life also. What are all the resources am I having today? Take it as a homework and do that. I have the resource of my house, for example. Then how am I using that? I have the resource of time. 24 hours have been given to me. Oh, I have no time. As if another person has been given more than 24 hours. How am I utilizing my time? How am I utilizing the various facilities which I have been given? Everything which has been given to you today, should be used effectively for your growth, for your benefit, and for the benefit of others. So do some homework on this. Just try it out and see, practice and see. The situation, that is external situation being as it is, you will suddenly find the quality of your life will increase tremendously. You will be very surprised. There are so many things which are being underutilized by you. When the first Yoga Sankirtan was given, the Nirvana Shatkam was released, within a short period of time I said, working on the next Yoga Sankirtan, the Sri Hari Dhyana. Now, one lady came and said, Yogishri, I'm just waiting for Sri Hari Dhyana. Up to that is fine. I said, yeah, it will be coming soon, but it may take quite a while because there are a lot of things to be seen. So then she said, once I get the Sri Hari Dhyana, then I am going to do the Nirvana Shatkam and Sri Hari Dhyana together. I said, what about now? See, only Nirvana Shatkam means that looks incomplete, no? I said, if I hadn't told you about Sri Hari Dhyana, you would have done the Nirvana Shatkam alone. Just because I said that is coming, now you feel this is incomplete and let it come. See, these are all the tricks played by your mind. Whatever you have now, use it, no? So take it up as homework. It's a very good sadhana. At every step in life, every now and then, if you can take stock of your situation, whether you're doing business, whether you're working in office, whether you're at home, everywhere, in any area, you can apply this principle. Some people say, I am not doing exercises because the gym timings and my timings are not matching. Why you can't do exercise at home, is it? Like one man long back, he told me, I couldn't achieve self-realization, Yogishri, because I was not born before 1950s. I said, what has that got to do with self? No, there was a great saint called Ramana Maharishi who lived in Tiruvannamalai. If I had been born at that time, I would have gone and seen him and I would have got realized. I missed that. I was born a little late. That is why I am like this. If we had met Ramana Maharishi, something else he would have said. So, come out of this tendency to keep on giving some excuse or other. So, take stock. It is good to take stock of your life in business, in work. And right now, what am I having? Okay, I am having an X amount of income, let us say, money. Now, how best can I use that? I have these resources. How best can I use them? You will find your productivity in life will just double if you simply follow this principle. And once you genuinely use your available resources to its fullest capacity, as I told you, then nature will give you more so that you can expand, you can get more things and grow further. Without doing this, if you just aim to get more, that will not work because you're not giving your best. So, I explained last week about the principles of the self-care as a very important principle before you do the yoga dhanam. So in that context, I was explaining to you the difference between selfishness and self-love or self-care. So many of you were so inspired by that. I've been receiving a lot of messages saying that in the name of service, I have been unnecessarily denying myself. One lady has written very interestingly. She said, my whole concept of spirituality has changed because I was always thinking that spirituality means now I should not enjoy, I should not get anything for myself. See, these are the wrong concepts which actually prevent you from growing. So these two things are there, selfishness, self-care. So the moment it is said by the masters, don't be selfish. Now people go to one extreme. They start torturing themselves. And the moment it is told to people, no need to torture yourself, they slip into this extreme which is selfishness. So selfishness is on one extreme, self-torture is on the other extreme. The middle path is self-love or self-care. Take care of yourself. so that you can take care of others. Take care of yourself well so that you can do your duties perfectly in life. Both should go hand in hand. Learn to love yourself unconditionally. Then only you can love others also unconditionally. If you are judging yourself, if you are having a lot of guilt, you will judge others also. If you are constantly, branding yourself as negative based on your negative qualities, you will brand others also. You will find it difficult to relate with others. Because what is there inside is what will come out. When the great masters pointed out the faults of others, that was with the idea that they can correct themselves. They said it with love, not with a spirit of criticism. A guru corrects when a student surrenders only. If a student does not surrender, a guru will never get into correction. But when a student surrenders fully, a guru does correct. Sometimes a correction may look harsh, but that is actually not harsh. There is so much of love and affection and care behind it. Why? Because the guru has mastered this principle of care and love. So whether it is yourself or whether it is others, the principle is same. And then we were seeing the three types of karmas. The tamasic karmas, the rajasic karmas and the sattvic karmas. I was explaining to you how these four purposes help you to overcome these three types of karmas. So if you want to overcome tamas, you need to force yourself to put an effort. Achieve things in life, fix goals. If you want to overcome rajas, then yoga dhanam. If you want to overcome sattva, the adhyatma unnati. Start focusing on the ultimate purpose. Now when this is said, there is one, I would say, one point which you should understand. Because when you practically try to go about practicing this, you will find certain blocks. I'll explain that principle to you, because when you're facing that block, this tip will help you. See, when we say if you want to overcome the tamasic karmas, now start putting in effort. Okay, it is said so beautifully. Now you're also inspired. So now you say, let me now put an effort. But the very nature of tamas will not allow you to put an effort. That is the contradiction. In order to overcome tamas, you need to put an effort. But what is preventing you from putting an effort? It is the tamas only. I gave you the example of being stubborn, that is intellectual tamas. If you want to overcome stubbornness, you need to put an effort there. But the nature of tamas itself will make you stubborn only. So how do you solve this? It's not only with respect to tamasic karmas. See, when you come to rajasic karma, it is that, okay, if you are rajasic, now start doing yoga dhanam. Start getting into a spirit of service and sacrifice. But the very nature of rajas will not allow you to do that. So when you try to overcome rajas by getting into a spirit of service and sacrifice, the very rajas, the rajasic karmas will force you to act in the opposite way. Similarly, the sattvic karmas. Sattva is also relative. It is goodness, but relative goodness only. So when you try to overcome that and think about the infinite, the very nature of sattva will try to keep you at this level only. So how will you solve this issue? It is very important for you to know that as a sadhak. The answer is, you are not 100% tamasic, or you are not 100% rajasic, or you are not 100% sattvic. You are a combination of these three gunas. See, if you remember in the last session, I said you have three types of karmas. So all these three types of karmas are present within you only. What is being said in a nutshell? When you are tamasic, put an effort. The tendency to put an effort comes from rajas. I don't know whether you observe that. So when it is said to overcome tamas, put an effort, it means use your rajas, whatever rajas you have within you. That's why I first covered the effective utility of your resources. Because you will say, I have very little rajas, sir. Use that very little rajas to start putting very little effort. No problem. Once you do that, as you start putting in that effort, now to that extent, in a small way, the tamas will be conquered. That will give you more strength. That you can continue in that same path. Similarly, when it is said that when you have rajasic tendencies, do yoga dhanam, get into a spirit of service and sacrifice. What is the spirit of service and sacrifice? It is nothing but sattva. So where there is rajas, now use your sattvic tendencies to come out of rajas. First, you need to practice those two. If you straight away say, now I'll overcome sattva, you will end up becoming tamasic only. Now, when you keep on practicing the first three things and you become more and more sattvic, then you may get stuck at that level also. In order to overcome that tendency, you use the adhyatma unnati, which is a principle of trans-sattva, going beyond the three gunas and merging with that supreme reality. So in effect, what are we doing here? Whenever you want to overcome something, now you can't overcome it if you are operating at the same level. So what the masters are saying is that borrow strength from something which is at a higher level. So with respect to tamas, what is higher? Rajas. So when you are very tamasic, but you will not be 100% tamasic, nobody can be. You are a combination of the three gunas. Whatever little rajas you have, now use that and tempt yourself to put effort. In the management jargon, they say, show the carrot, When show the carrot means bring in some benefits. Oh, if I do this, this is the benefit which I'll get. It's a pep talk to your own mind. So even though that is a limited way of doing it, it is far better than not doing it at all. Similarly, when you have rajasic tendencies and you're trying to overcome them, if you're operating at the same frequency, now you will not be able to move up further. So from where can you get strength? From a quality which is at a further higher level, and that is sattva. But if you get stuck in sattva, from where can you get strength? What is beyond sattva? It is that infinite reality. This is a very important principle which I am giving you, because in this chapter he'll be covering this principle in detail later on. He'll be telling you what are the impediments to action and how can you overcome those impediments. When we come there, we'll be taking up this principle in greater detail. So this is the principle. Whenever you are having a problem or an issue, you have to take help from a higher level. Only then you can get a solution. If you are operating at the same level, you will never get a solution, because at that level you already created that problem. Why is it that a student goes to a guru? Because a true guru is at the highest level. So when the student faces a lot of issues, he or she is able to take help from the guru, provided the guru is at the highest level, or at least a little higher than what level the student is. Otherwise, the guru will not be able to help. See, just because a person is well versed with the scriptures intellectually doesn't mean he'll be able to guide others. That is a different thing. There's a difference between being a pandit, a scholar, and being a guru, one who can show light, one who can guide. They are two different things altogether. So in the Shastras it is said, you set your mind on God, all your problems will go, you will get a lot of strength. Why are they saying that? Because God or the infinite is at the highest level. Any other problem which you are facing is at the lower level. So if you derive strength from the higher, then you will be able to overcome these things. So this principle is used very, very effectively in spirituality. Incidentally, you also use the same principle without knowing it in your worldly transactions. Supposing you want to construct a building, let's say a house or office or something. Now you will call a structural engineer, you will call a civil engineer and ask him or her for help. Why? Because in that field you are ignorant. You are at a lower level, the knowledge wise. So you approach a person who is at a higher level with respect to that area and you take help. You look at your own life. Any kind of progress you have made is always because you were functioning at one level but you took help from a higher level. Now apply the same principle to overcome the tamasic karmas, rajasic karmas and sattvic karmas. So when you are trying to overcome the tamasic karma will try to force you into inaction. When you are trying to overcome the rajasic karmas, they will again force you into selfishness. When you are trying to overcome sattvic karmas, they will also try to force you. So always use the higher energy, always take help from the higher forces to overcome the lower issues. So make note of this principle, start applying this principle in your life, and as and when the other verses come where he deals with this in detail, we will go into more depth. This principle actually is very, very effective, because if this principle is not there, you can never grow. Because once you create an issue at a certain level, and if you're operating at the same level, you will never get a solution. You have to take help from a higher level. So it's It's an amazing principle which can facilitate growth. Or we can even say no growth is possible if this principle had not been there. So such a powerful principle has been given to you. So think about that so that you can overcome all your karmas and merge with the infinite. So one who undertakes the yoga of action, karma yoga, with the organs of action, with the karma indriyas, we have seen that in detail. Then he says unattached. Another bombshell, has been thrown. Unattached. Asaktaha. The most difficult thing to practice. For a person who is attached, this is the most difficult thing. Once you move up, it is easy. See, whenever you are caught up in an issue, it will be very difficult to think out of the box, to think outside that problem. You would have faced this, no? Sometimes you're struggling to solve a particular riddle, and for hours together it didn't strike you. Finally, somebody tells you this is the answer to this. And the moment you hear the answer, oh, that's all, huh? This riddle is so simple. Why didn't it strike me? Now you're very excited. You go and tell someone else. And that person is struggling. And you wonder, why is that person struggling? The answer is so simple. The answer is so simple for you because you know it. But for the other person, even though the answer is so simple, the answer is right in front of him, he is finding it very difficult. Why? Because he is caught up with the riddle, he is caught up with the problem. It's the same thing. When he gives this principle of asaktaha, we are going to see that what asaktaha means. But in a broad sense, asaktaha means unattached, be detached. In a generalized way, if we look at it. Function in the, see what he's saying is, you put in all your effort, function in this world, use your karma indriyas and do karma yoga in a detached way. You will excel. Vishishyate, saha vishishyate. That person will excel, that person will achieve great heights. Now, the moment the word detachment is used, the first thing that will come to your mind is how difficult it is. It is like the person who is trying to solve the riddle, who is finding it very difficult to find the answer. For a person who has found the answer, it is easy. For a person who has come to this level, he will say, what is a big difficulty? But till you get there, you may find it difficult. One thing I can tell you, this asaktaha, to be unattached is no doubt difficult, but it is not impossible. So if you want to progress in your sadhana, don't look at the difficulty of in practicing these principles. Look at the possibility, whether it's possible or not. As long as something is possible, it is a question of time. You can achieve it. The problem really comes when something is not possible at all. So what is this asaktaha? Now, when it is said don't be attached, act in an unattached way, immediately you will take it in the physical sense. This word asaktaha, these kinds of words which our masters have given, have been totally misunderstood by the people who appreciate spirituality. So the moment we talk of detachment and all that, immediately people take it as physical detachment. Oh, I should not acquire wealth. I should not acquire name and fame. I should not have a family. That is the general concept of a sannyasi. In the later chapters, he'll be talking about who is a true sannyasi. Sannyasi means one who has given up. What it is, what has to be given up? They are not talking about giving up your possessions and giving up the other things. They are only saying you should give up your ego. You should give up your negative attitude and get established in divinity. So, this block has to be removed if you want to get into the true spirit of asaktaha. That is, people think detachment means physically, externally, I have to give up. You don't need to give up anything externally. That is why, right at the beginning of this verse, he used the word manasa. See, yastvindriyani manasa. There it's starting of the verse itself, he says manasa. The entire practice which he is giving is by the mind. The fact that he is asking you to do karma yoga, to utilize your karma indriyas, means he is against physical withdrawal. And we saw it even in the previous verse, mithyachara savuchyate. One who physically withdraws and who is mentally indulging, such a person is a hypocrite, he said. So this word detachment has been totally misunderstood. And it is because of this misunderstanding that people don't take up spirituality. Actually, there is a deep-rooted fear. Oh, if I come to spirituality, I'll have to give up all my possessions. I'll have to give away everything. You go to a youngster and say, every Sunday, attend the Bhagavad Gita session. He or she will immediately say, why are you asking me to attend all this now? After my retirement time, I'll see. The general idea of spirituality itself is, you live your life, you enjoy life, then I will learn these spiritual truths. Why? Because anyways, the spirituality is teaching detachment. He's saying right when you're youthful, karma indriya should be put into karma yoga, means they are in fully developed stage. They are very powerful. At that time itself, you should pick up this wisdom. So, what is this asaktaha? The moment I ask you to visualize a detached person, you will visualize that person as one who is not participating in the world. Isn't it? One who is not in family life, one who is not wealthy. You cannot conceive of a person who is fully in the world but who can be detached. Actually, that is possible. Later on, Krishna himself will be giving the example of King Janaka. Why the example of King Janaka was given? Because a king is one who is fully in life, and it is possible to lead a very high level of spirituality, even if you are a king, means even if you are fully in the world. That is the principle which is being given there. So, if you want to really master these principles, you need to overcome the deep-rooted fear which arises out of a misunderstanding that spirituality is against enjoyment. Spirituality means withdrawal from the world and running away somewhere. See, these are the concepts which have been ingrained in the subconscious mind of everyone. For ages or for many, many years, these wrong concepts have been preached in the name of spirituality. So today, we will have to reverse that. So, asaktaha. A is the prefix. Saktaha means attachment. A means the opposite of attachment, unattached. Many times the word a is used in the Sanskritam language to mean the opposite, like shokaha means sorrow, ashokaha means a state of no sorrow. Like Sita was in Ashokavana when she was captured by Ravana. She refused to indulge with Ravana, but rather she was in the Ashokavana doing tapas. So that's a state of no sorrow. So asaktaha means being unattached. So what is this saktaha, attachment? Whenever you are attached to something mentally, your mind gets stuck there. Your mind gets bound. You lose your freedom. Whenever you contact the same object with detachment, that is in an unattached way, you will participate in that experience. You will enjoy the object, but you will not lose your freedom. I want you to understand this properly, because unattachment is actually one of the main principles in spirituality. A person who is attached can never grow spiritually. So that is why it's so important to understand this properly. We'll take a simple example. Now, let's say you're sitting on a chair. Now, the chair is meant for you to sit. There is nothing wrong in sitting on a chair. Now, the chair is meant for you to use it in that way, where you sit, and whenever you want to get up and go for some other activity, you have the freedom to get up and walk, isn't it? Now, supposing you take some super glue, some gum, and apply it on the chair, and then you sit on it. Now it is the same chair, you are the same person, you are doing the same activity of sitting, but there is one big difference. In the earlier case, even though you are sitting on the chair, you are not dependent on the chair. You are not, you never lost your freedom. Whereas in the second case, you are sitting on the same chair, you are using it, but you are stuck there. You lose your freedom. If you want to get up and walk away, the chair will also come with you. It is not possible for you to move away from the chair. So, these great masters, what they are saying is, you use the chair effectively. You can sit for hours together also, no issues. Use it properly, but don't get stuck there. Because the moment you get stuck, you will lose your freedom. Now, this example is something which you can easily understand. Now, take this principle and apply it at the mental level. Instead of the chair, you keep the world. These great masters are saying, this world is meant for you to experience and enjoy. Nothing wrong with that. Spirituality is never against experiencing and enjoying. Actually, In spirituality, we say you should live your life fully. You should enjoy fully. So then what are they against? They are only against the mind getting stuck. They are not against the mind participating in the enjoyments of the world. They are not against the mind experiencing the worldly pleasures. They are only saying, don't allow the mind to get stuck there. Because the moment the mind gets stuck there, which means the mind gets attached, you will lose your freedom. Just as when you get physically stuck, you lose your physical freedom. When you get mentally stuck, you will lose your mental freedom, psychological freedom. Once you get attached to something, then you will not be able to be free. You will constantly be thinking about that object or that person. Today, unfortunately, this attachment is being misunderstood as love. When a person says, I have fallen in love with with anyone, with someone, now the very word which is used is, I have fallen in love. It's a beautiful coinage. Yes, you have fallen. It is not because of love. Actually, it is because of attachment. You lose your freedom there. You are unable to think independently thereafter. Your very existence, your happiness thereafter will completely depend on the behavior of the other person. In this example I am saying, if that other person smiles at you, you will also smile. The other person frowns at you, you will also frown. The other person is nice to you, you will feel so elated. The other person talks in a little harsh way, now you will feel so disturbed. Is that life worth it? It's full of stress. So the moment the masters say don't get attached, immediately the understanding is, oh no, these masters are saying I should not now get into a relationship at all. They never said that. Actually, they are saying experience the world fully. Get form relationships. Learn to deal with people. But do it from a position of strength, not from a position of weakness. The entire world is there for you to enjoy. Your whole life is there for you to experience. But experience life, enjoy your life, enjoy the world from a position of strength, not from a position of weakness. The moment you get attached and you get stuck there, now you will become dependent. It's a slavish life. You will become dependent on that object or that person for your happiness. That is the worst thing that can happen. Because the moment you are dependent on something outside you for happiness, you will never be happy, because happiness is actually coming from inside. Happiness is a state of mind. I mean, I'm not talking of the infinite happiness, that is the ultimate state. But at least the relative happiness, that itself is internal only. So if you want to enjoy anything, the prerequisite is detachment only. See, if you go and get stuck on the chair, even while sitting, the movement will become very restricted, isn't it? You will not really enjoy that experience. Similarly, when you contact the world with attachment at the mental level, you will really not enjoy that experience. A mother who is attached to her child will never enjoy the child. She will constantly be afraid only. I'm giving an example of a mother and child. It can be father and child also. It can be any relationship. See, I know one mother, she was telling me that, she, as her son was growing, a deep-rooted fear was there within her. She actually did sadhana and she overcame that problem. She came out of that fully. The deep-rooted fear was, oh, my son will go away, that my son will go into wrong ways. So she was being overprotective. She was not giving him any freedom because of this syndrome, Oh, what if he goes into some wrong channels? And he got a seat in one university which was in a different place. She said, don't go. Why? Because I want you to stay with me. There was a big tussle between the son and the mother. So they both used to attend the discourses, So they came for help. And the son was saying, see, I love my mother so much. But now she's restricting me. She's saying I should not go there and study. This is a subject which I'm so passionate about. And when I asked her, she said, yes, Yogishri, I'm so scared. So then when I explained to her, I told her that, Ma, this is not love, this is attachment. Actually, this is selfishness. See, you're not thinking in terms of the benefit of your son. Instead, all the time you want him to be with you so that you can keep a watch over him. It's a very impractical thing. If you continue like this, your relationship will get completely strained. You will repel him. The son immediately said, Yogishri, what you're saying is so true, because already I feel like running away. I feel repelled. And that is giving me guilt because I have love for my mother on one hand. But on the other hand, I'm just feeling nauseated, the kind of pressure which is being put. And he was saying it's not now, right from young age. She also agreed to that. So she asked me, how do I overcome this? So I asked her to do the Yoga Sankirtan Sadhana. I said, first 1 week you do the full sequence. I asked her actually to do it for 21 days. First week, certain things I asked her to do. So release all these factors. So when she did the sadhana, that was the time when all the impressions which were stored in her deeper mind came out. And those impressions were very interesting. When the baby was born, around that time, her husband passed away. Her husband had an accident and he had passed away. So she had thoughts of suicide and all that. At that time, the person who gave her some kind of motivation was that baby, newborn baby. That's her son. So she lived only for her son. She took care of him and all that. So all her energies were completely focused there, and that slowly developed into attachment. So all these came out from within her when she did the sadhana, and she released all that. And very interestingly, within 1 week itself, there was so much of change in her attitude. She told me this, I'm feeling so free. I have put all my insecurities on my son. This is what she realized. And she did the sadhana and came out of this attachment. And the moment she came out of the attachment, she was able to tell her son, bless him and say, go and study. If that is what you really want to do, do it. And when she said that, her son was feeling a little sad, He told me, I'm going to miss my mother, Yogishri. So to which she told him, no, be strong. You have to live your life. I'm always there for you. The very statement she was making, that is, a week or 10 days back when she came and met, she was in such a weak position. Now from a position of strength, she was telling him, I'm always there for you as a mother, but you have your life. See, that is how you should relate to everything in the world. So when you're attached, it will make you weak, number one. Not only that, it will make you overprotective about the other person. So the other person will also get repelled from you. So that is why these great masters said, act in the world, function in the world, enjoy everything, experience everything to its fullest extent, but in an unattached way. Asaktaha. Such a beautiful word, The life of Lord Krishna was a practical demonstration of this word asaktaha. Krishna was fully in the world. He actually masterminded a world war. Can you imagine? How much of responsibility. But with all that, he was always cheerful. Why? Because he was unattached. Asaktaha. It's a master stroke, After building up so beautifully, where he says you restrain the senses by the mind, O Arjuna, and undertake the karma yoga, utilize your karma indriyas properly and do karma yoga, and then just one small word is used, asaktaha, in an unattached way. That's a master stroke. If you're able to grasp this, then you don't need to watch these Sunday sessions from next week. Don't take it literally because that is a lifetime sadhana. At every level there will be some attachment or other. You'll have to slowly understand it, absorb it, and start practicing it. We'll stop here today. Just think about that beautiful principle of asaktaha. Whatever has been given to you, just start thinking on those lines in a liberal way. If the fear comes, what will happen to me if I'm detached? Then don't think about you being detached. Just appreciate that quality of asaktaha. And in the next session, we'll go into more depth. I'll give you a few useful dimensions of this word, which will help you so much. And then we will proceed further. Okay? So now we'll do the Nididhyasana meditation. Sit in a comfortable position. As I told you, I am preparing you for the empowerment program through these sessions. So the Nididhyasana meditation every week, which is being done, is the energy is being given in that for you to get prepared for the finding rhythm in life empowerment also. Okay, so gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. Beyond my physical body, beyond my emotions, beyond my thoughts, lies my higher self, which is infinite in nature. From this moment onwards, I choose to use whatever resources which are available to me today in a most effective manner. I choose to burn up all my karmas and become one with the infinite. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So we had a very nice session today. Many subtler tips were given to you. Reflect on them and start practicing them. The power of asaktaha is actually infinite. As we go along, we'll see that. Okay? So regarding the 22-day empowerment course on finding rhythm in life, the details have already been shared, I think, in the website and all that. Many of you have already registered. So as I told you, from the moment you register, the special healing will be done for you. Now that registration is a commitment you're making. So do it with full bhavana. Those of you who have done it already, just reinforce that commitment within you. Every day I'll be sitting and sending a special healing to all the participants, but that is only from the moment you register, because it is always two-way. There has to be an exchange of energy when it comes to the empowerment. It cannot be one-sided. Now, this special healing is being given to the participants so that you all can receive the higher blast of energy in a much more easy way. So even during this preparatory healing itself, you will find a lot of good things happening in your life. So enjoy that and start writing your goals, what it is that you want from life. Anyway, I'll be making you do that during the course. But from now itself, you start doing that. Okay? And be very regular in your sadhana. Daily sadhana is a must. That prepares you in a big way. Okay? If you have any questions regarding the program, do feel free to ask. It is my duty to clarify everything. So, thank you very much. I'll see you in the next session. Hari Om.